Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Talking Ship podcast brought to you by shipmyplants.com. Today, we have a very special guest, Lucas Picciolo, founder of Mossify.
What's up? What's up?
Thanks for being on the podcast, Lucas. It's an honor and pleasure to have you.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. And yeah, super excited to talk plants and horticulture and ship my plants and Mossify. So yeah, excited to be here.
Great. So, the first thing I want to ask you, and for the listeners and viewers that, Mossify makes plant care products, but they're more than just a plant care company. They're one of the most unique plant care companies, in my opinion, in consumer horticulture. And, as a garden center owner and as an online seller, I was drawn to them by their unique packaging and some of the unique products. And I got to ask, Lucas, what was your inspiration to start Mossify?
Yeah, no, and I appreciate the kind words. It's very kind. Yeah, no, we've been super excited and super grateful for all of the work and the feedback that we've gotten from all of our partners from across the country. And yeah, I kind of wanted to start up this company. I want to start a company. I didn't know what it was going to be. Um, so previously, right out of high school, I was working construction. And during that time, I saw the amount of waste wood. There's a ton of waste wood in construction and home building. And I knew I kind of wanted to start using that wood that was being wasted in some way. How the idea really started was I was on my driveway working on my car and using a wood block to, lift up my car, or whatever the case is. And there's moss in my driveway, little cracks of, the flagstone and the pavers. And I was like, huh, what if I put the moss inside this wood and I can get this wood for free? Like, all these construction sites pay to throw it out. So I was like, maybe I'll grab the wood, carve out different images, and put in the moss. So I started with a hammer and chisel, and I carved out the word create. I put moss inside of it, and that's just kind of how the idea started. And at the time, we're called Simply Mossy Art. Launched January of 2020. Obviously, COVID hit. Kind of paused the business, reinvested, reevaluated, rebranded, and relaunched the company as Mossify in May of 2020. And yeah, since then it's been pretty good. It's very unique how a small idea can take you so far and become something a lot larger than that idea. So but that obviously comes with a ton of work. I mean, hours, endless hours of work and um a ton of determination and grit, and it just comes with so much to really make it something.
Well, I mean, that's inspirational, and it's amazing how far you've come in such a short time. Starting there, I think the idea is beautiful from a sustainability standpoint, and obviously from a frugality standpoint on being an entrepreneur. You took a problem and turned it into a solution, and I think that's incredible. Found out about you guys originally through these bendable moss poles that you came out with. How did you come up with the idea for the bendable moss poles?
Yeah, so that was really what put us on the map. That was like, and I've always been kind of an inventor and innovator, and I love creating new things that have never been seen and never been done before, and love solving problems. That's literally my job, is solving problems. But this is during COVID, and when I was, when nobody was doing anything, nobody was buying, everyone was in lockdown, like a crazy period. I was into bonsai trees. So I was, getting bonsai trees. I was making them, bending the branches, making unique trees. And I was also doing houseplants. But I realized, like, I'm looking on the market, I'm like, what can Mossify bring? Like, what is good for the market? What has the market never seen and never had before? Um, and so I keep seeing these moss poles everywhere. Uh, every single post, every plant had a moss pole. The climbing plants had moss poles, and I was like, well, plants don't really grow in on a straight stick, right? Like all these moss poles were straight. And I was like, what if I bring the aspects of bonsai where you can shape the branches into tropicals? And so that's really where the idea came from. And I do have a photo as well on the website of the first, or it's a GIF of the
Hmm.
very first bendable moss pole, and it was like absolutely terrible. It looks pretty funny, and but yeah, that was the first kind of prototype, and searched everywhere, couldn't find anything, and that's when I was like, okay, maybe this is it, and so kind of made like 4 or 5 different iterations and improving on it in every single way, and launched the product, soft launch on Instagram, family and friends, and people wanted them, and so yeah, at the time we're still making them in my house, in my garage, and then things just kind of snowballed and stuff like that. Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
So you've got a patent on this as well.
Yep. So we got the patent. That took 2.5 years or something. It was a crazy process, but we finally got that, protecting our patent. Um, and so it's actually been pretty successful, and yeah, so we're pretty happy about that.
Well, it's brilliant, and we are selling the bendable moss poles on shipmyplants.com, so I have to throw that plug in there, and we're pretty happy to have that product because I see the uniqueness and the creativity behind that. Um, you've got a plant mister, like a sprayer, and mist spray bottles have been around forever, and I even sell them with my company logo on them, just a regular kind of a spray bottle, but yours is a little bit different. What makes your mister different?
Yeah, I think the unique thing about our mister is, one, it's fully rechargeable. So you charge it for 2 to 3 hours, it'll last 2 to 3 weeks. So it's a really powerful battery. The spray that comes out of it is extremely fine. We have an atomizer in there, and it really makes those water particles as small as possible, and it outputs a beautiful mist. Um, and just the aesthetics of it, it looks absolutely beautiful. You can put it on your shelf, and it's not doesn't look like it's in the way. It
Mm.
doesn't look like it doesn't belong there. It looks like a piece of decor. And that's what's super unique about it. Another cool thing is, you can spray up with the mister, and you can put different types of liquids for cleaning. And a lot of our customers, we even had a review on our website saying that she has a problem with like her wrist, or like some type of carpal tunnel, or something like that, with uh, her wrist not really working that well if she has to do a lot of different things. So it really eliminates the use for a manual mister.
Mm.
And so you can just mist, 100 different plants at one time. And, even if you have a water soluble insecticide and pesticide, you can put that in there, spray everything down, and with no effort. It's really magical.
That is absolutely brilliant on so many levels, and the aesthetic part of it is one of the biggest things, because it's like, where do you put these plant care products? You got a place to store them, and obviously they take up space, and people gravitate towards products and materials that are pleasing to the eye. So kudos on all of that. And um, I'm amazed that you can actually put, like you said, it's got to be water soluble, but other plant care products into it to make it multi-use. So very smart.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, we have customers that use this on a beach. It's a hot day, they use it on a beach. We have customers with lizards and frogs, and terrariums, vivariums, all these crazy things, and they miss their animals. And we even have a garden center buyer that has a parrot, or like some type of bird, in their store, and they miss the bird. The bird loves it. Oh, we also had a hunter. So a hunter put like this scent away for when you're hunting and stuff. So you put this scent away in the mister bottle. You put it on, you set it down, and then you walk, and then you like kind of twist and turn, so all of the mist sprays on your body, so you don't leave a scent. So we get all these like crazy unique uses for the mister, and that's what we love about it. You can use it in literally so many different ways. It's up to your imagination on how you can use it.
That's amazing. And now you're making me think about another use for mine, because my daughters each have their own pet lizard, and we incorporate live plants into their terrariums. So I'm gonna use it for that. That's actually amazing. So you know you're a forward thinking guy. You're innovative. You're creative. I feel like you are the type, you know, because you're in Canada, so I'm going to use a hockey reference. You like to skate to where the puck is going to be. And so my next question is, where do you see the world of consumer horticulture in 5 years down the line?
Yeah, and that's something, that's a question I asked myself before I started the company, which industry am I comfortable going in? Which industry do I see growing over the next 5 to 10 years? And that was kind of horticulture. If you look into the future, if you ask yourself, what does the future look like? Is it going to be more green or less green? Is it going to be more plants or less plants? And so that's the question I kind of asked myself. And, with all of these green incentives from governments dumping billions and billions of dollars into green initiatives, um, I kind of figured that there will be more plants in houses, there'll be more plants in businesses, more plants in condominiums and public spaces than less. There will be more guaranteed. So I definitely think that there has been a little. Uh, I feel like the market has been not neglected, but the innovation for horticulture has been very slow. If you look at technology, I mean, the technology innovation is just exponential, absolutely exponential, exponential. So, I looked at this industry and it's kind of on the slower moving industry, and just a simple innovation can go a long way. And that's what I learned about the horticulture industry. So I think there's still so much room. I mean, we are just getting started improvising new products and innovating new technology that works with products. I mean, we're just getting started, especially with, obviously the rise of AI and implementing that uh, into horticulture, growing and stuff like that. I mean, we're just getting started. There's so much room to grow. So I think in the next 5 years, there's definitely going to be more plants. There's going to be a lot more innovation and a lot more tech, and I think that's going to be a huge innovation that's going to come soon.
You actually came out with a light, right? Like a grow light of some sort. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so it's a super cool product. It's fully extendable from 8 inches all the way up to 28 inches. So it's super dynamic, and you can clip it onto the side of the pot, very secure. And yeah, you really just plug it in. You have a timer, 8, 12, and 16-hour timer. So you plug it in once, set the timer, and to set and forget it. There's also a dimmability function, so you can dim it down to the certain level of light output that your plant needs, depending on the plant. And yeah, we've been very, very happy with it. All of our customers absolutely love it. Comes in white and black, and yeah, it's a really, really fantastic product. We're very happy with it.
Well, I think it's a very smart product, and it's like you said, you know, the opportunity for consumer horticulture to work some tech in is huge. I definitely think that the industry has been stuck in its ways for a long, long time, and it's not a knock on our industry. It's just an opportunity, because you know things were done a certain way, and that's just how it was. But um, you know, you're bringing like fashion, tech, conservation, all into this one space, and it's actually really absolutely refreshing. And so, speaking of that, does your company take conservation into consideration when developing packaging for your products?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll add one more thing to that list of cool, fun things. We're also doing music, so plant music. plant content and stuff like that. So we make music videos about plants and entertainment. And I think that's one thing that's also kind of on the rise is the plant entertainment, right?
Yeah.
So horticulture and tropical uh, entertainment. I think it's a really growing category. But yeah, conservation efforts. We do plant one tree for every single order. So we planted over 11,000, 12,000 trees, and we have probably, like, we do a tree planting at the end of the year. So at the end of this year, we'll be planting probably another 5 or 6 thousand trees or something like that. So
Wow.
close to 17, 18,000 or something like that. I got to do some maths.
Well, I mean, still consider you a startup, although you guys have been really successful already. That's a huge positive impact on the world. I mean, planting trees is one of the things that obviously can fight climate change and reduce pollution and there's nothing bad about planting a tree that I can think of. So kudos in that regards. But we're going to have to bring it back to the music video aspect. And I feel like it was a missed opportunity for me to not bring that up sooner. But I've seen the videos and they're fantastic. So there'll be a link on the screen for people to go check out your guys' videos, because I think that's something that not enough people are doing, and it's incredibly creative marketing. And it's you guys are proving that you're catering to this new generation of consumers that are going to expect something different in horticulture going forward. So awesome.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And again, like, another reason why we do that and why we've done that in the past and why we're going to do that in the future is, like, look, it really breaks the barrier of we're just a company that sells products and that's it. But that's not it. We are a young group of entrepreneurs that really want to innovate, change something that hasn't changed in a while. And we want to break that barrier. We're not just a company selling products. We truly care about every single customer that we have. And entertainment is part of that too. And all these companies, you go on other very large websites, there's no care at all. It's just buy the product, return the product. It is so robotic. We care about every single thing that we do, and I feel like that's one of the biggest things that makes us different. Is we just don't ship a product and say that's it. We really care, and we want to break the barrier. Look, we are real humans. And it wasn't until a retailer reached out to us saying, "Hey, we're interested in wholesale. Do you sell wholesale?" And then I was like, "What is that? Like, what do you mean?" So they're like, "Oh, we'll buy more product for cheaper and we'll sell it in our store." And I was like, sure." Like, yes, the answer is yes. So we had to figure it out. And we're like, "Oh, wait a minute. Here's an opportunity. Like, maybe we can sell to more than one retail location." So that's really the how it started and how we've been able to grow. And yeah, it's really, but if we didn't have that online presence, we didn't have a great website, you wouldn't have that one retailer would not have known about us at all. So yeah, it's very extremely important, crucial to have the online presence and selling. um, and even for customers going into retail locations, they know about us, they know about our marketing, they know about our products online, then they see it in store, they pick it up and grab it, right? So building that brand loyalty across the country is extremely hard to do. um, but once it's done, it's pretty powerful.
Well, that's one of the things that attracted us to Mossify as a company, and again, that's awesome. I think the entertainment aspect is something that's missed, for businesses, because you know consumers want to feel an emotional connection to the products and to the companies that they're purchasing from. It's part of the consumer experience. It's everybody can put a product on a shelf and put a price tag on it, but not everybody can make a lasting impression and a memory, and create that loyalty and develop traditions. And entertainment is it's not easy to do, because you have to put yourself out there, especially when you're making videos like that. But you're having fun. It's obvious. And you know that's one of the things that we're hopefully can accomplish with Ship My Plants. Is obviously we have a very fun name, and the marketing opportunities around that, some of the videos that we're actually making, and I can't wait to bring it to life, actually. But since you guys started as almost like an art company, where you were making and creating beautiful art, using moss and leftover wood, how much of that has stayed, remained a part of what Mossify is doing? Is art always on the forefront of the thought process when it comes to the new products and the new innovation that you're currently doing?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, and I think it was a really great foundation for the company, and obviously, everything we do, we want that to be aesthetically pleasing to the eye and to the consumer, and that's a really big part of our company. Um, Most of our companies actually like has some sort of media background and or education. If you go to any of our listing photos, you go to our website, everything is as beautiful as possible and very aesthetically pleasing. And when a customer first hears about us, first sees anything, any of our content, goes on our website, purchases something, and receives something, that whole process, we want it to be an amazing experience. Um, yeah, so yeah, I mean, always trying to beautify and mossify everything. So
Well, I like that. That's very punny. So
yeah,
when I first met you and your company, it was at the 2022 TPIE show, and you guys won the award for the Cool New Product Award. So kudos to that. And you've won a couple of different awards for new products. Is that right?
yeah, one or two. Yeah, that was actually like our very first trade show. That was, we recorded the whole thing. We drove down from Toronto, Canada to Tampa, Florida, and
Wow.
yeah, it was just a wild experience. And it was like it was a very amazing experience for our team and bonding. Driving across the country, and it was an amazing thing for our business, and getting that award and really snowballed and really got bigger and got a lot more attention, especially from that show. And that was like the first show after COVID. I mean, it was like before that, it was like everyone was scared. Even people at the show were still like, COVID. But it was hilarious. It was amazing. But it was just such an amazing time. Yeah, it was uh yeah, good memories, good times.
Well, you made a great impression on me. I've been doing this for over 20 years as a garden retailer. And I used to go to trade shows all the time and sit there at the end of walking every single aisle and turn to my team and say, I didn't see one new thing. And I mean, and I can't tell you, and you could talk to other garden center owners and buyers throughout North America, and they'll tell you the same exact thing. But I understand, Lucas, that your company was on the Dragon's Den, which is kind of the Canadian version of Shark Tank, and you apparently slayed the dragons. How did that go? Tell us about your experience, and uh, was it nerve wracking? Was it fun? How was your experience there?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. It was an amazing experience. I mean, I auditioned for the show 3 or 4 years. I think it was 4 years in a row. So it took 4 years of coming back and being optimistic, but finally got on. And yeah, I mean, we had months to prepare, so that was better than it just being thrown into it. And yeah, I mean, it was at the beginning, it was very nerve-wracking for the first like 5 minutes, being first shoved on stage. There's like 20 cameras in your face and all this stuff. And but after 5 minutes, it just becomes a regular conversation just like this. And I do this every single day of my life. I think about the business, I work on the business every single day. So I'm so confident in everything that we do and everything that I know. And it just became a regular conversation. And it was reassuring when the dragons didn't think I was crazy, and didn't think uh yeah, they thought I had a great business. And 4 out of 6 dragons gave us an offer, so that was pretty cool too. um yeah, it was an unreal experience. It was absolutely amazing. And it it definitely added some credibility, and also some social proof to the business. So it definitely helped the business in the long run, for sure.
So we're starting to run out of time, but I got one last question, and it's what is one thing that I didn't ask you that you think people should know about Mossify?
Something cool about us, or something unique. Um, so I guess the amount of locations that we've scaled to. So in around 2 years, we've scaled to over 1,500 retail locations across Canada and the U.S. Um, so that's been pretty significant and pretty challenging, but also very rewarding. And yeah, it's been pretty crazy. But that's pretty fun. What else is pretty cool?
What
Yeah,
would you tell like somebody that wants to start their own company or advice or something like that, that you wish somebody told you when you were starting?
I didn't understand this until I actually, I'm here and I'm doing this business. It's the hardest thing that you'll ever do in your life for a prolonged period of time. It is extremely difficult. You have to be extremely persistent, extremely gritty. You have to deal with a lot of problems. You have to be very strong with your business. And you have to trust a lot of people, build a lot of relationships. Yeah, I mean, ah, there's not one thing that I would say. There's so many different things. It's extremely difficult. It's the hardest thing you'll ever do in your life. That's probably what I would say.
Well, I'd like to thank Lucas Picciolo, founder of Mossify, one of the coolest new upcoming consumer horticulture brands, but they've kind of already made it. So I don't want to say up and coming anymore. Got to 1,500 retail locations in just 2 years. But I want to thank you for not only coming on the Talking Ship podcast, but also for your support of Ship My Plants and shipmyplants.com, and being one of the first brands to sell on the platform. Thank you and your team. You've got obviously a wonderful team of people with you, and it shows through. So keep up the great work. And once again, thank you.
Yeah, and thank you, man. I really appreciate it, Rich, and appreciate the work that you do and your team does, and everyone at Ship My Plants. And yeah, super grateful to be a part of it. And yeah, we're here for the long run and can't wait. We actually, I think we got an order yesterday from Ship My Plants, so we gotta ship that out as soon as possible. So, but yeah, Rich, I really appreciate everything. If you ever need anything, I'm always here, happy to help. And yeah, really grateful. So hope everyone enjoyed and everyone has an amazing day.
Thanks, Lucas. Take care.